After 10 years waiting in the wings, Gordon Brown was cheered as he left the Treasury for Downing Street in the summer of 2007, replacing Tony Blair without a contest, promising change and renewed trust in government.
I will try my utmost. This is my promise to all of the people of Britain.
It was the fulfilment of a long-held dream. He brought with him what he called his moral compass, instilled by his father, a church minister. From his early years at Kirkcaldy High School, he was a high achiever with a social conscience. At Edinburgh University, he was heavily involved in student politics. And after his election in 1983, he rose swiftly through the ranks, promoted to the shadow cabinet by Neil Kinnock, along with his friend and rival, Tony Blair. But when John Smith died suddenly in 1994, it was Blair who became leader. At an infamous dinner at this London restaurant, Mr Brown agreed to stand aside, but the details of the deal haunted the New Labour project. Gordon Brown has always been a driven and private politician, but his life changed with marriage to Sarah Macaulay. He's spoken movingly about the death of their first daughter and about his two sons, one of whom has cystic fibrosis. As Chancellor, Mr Brown gave the Bank of England independence and enjoyed initially prolonged growth and low inflation. He wielded huge control over large areas of domestic policy. Until finally he got to sit in the seat he'd coveted for so long. But within weeks of becoming Prime Minister, he faced acts of terrorism, foot and mouth, and floods across the country. Encouraged by good poll ratings and colleagues, he toyed with calling a snap election, but he hesitated and eventually called it off.
I'll not be calling an election, and let me explain why. I have a vision for change in Britain.
Rows over political donations and the loss of public data dealt further blows to his authority.
The House has noticed the Prime Minister's remarkable transformation in the last few weeks from Stalin to Mr Bean.
And he had to admit his abolition of the temporary tax rate was a mistake.
We've listened to what people are saying about the effects on different groups, and we've made the changes as a result of that.
And soon, even his reputation for economic competence was called into question as the credit crunch began to bite. Northern Rock suffered the first run on a major British bank in recent history. And Mr Brown brought Peter Mandelson back from the cold to beef up his team, which was soon needed after his spin doctor, Damien McBride, resigned for making unfounded personal smears about senior Tories. And then last summer came the rows over expenses. The Home Secretary, Jackie Smith, resigned after claiming for adult films watched by her husband.
Going around the country, I've been struck by the comments.
Gordon Brown's YouTube performance proposing changes to the system fell flat. And he was mocked by his Communities Secretary, Hazel Blears. She resigned from the Cabinet, as did the Welfare Secretary, James Purnell, on the day of the European elections in June 2009, when Labour came third, with just 16% of the vote.
Thanks very much.
Mr Brown saw off his critics then, only to face another coup attempt early this year. But again it failed.
I will not waver. I will not walk away. I will get on with the job, and I will finish work.
In the face of declining poll ratings, he attempted to show a softer side to his character. But there were fresh allegations about bullying in Downing Street. And then this. Out campaigning, he met a woman called Gillian Duffy.
You can't say anything about the immigrants.
His private remarks about her were replayed to him, publicly, within moments.
Someone has just handed me the tape. Let's play it and see if we can hear it.
She'll never have put me with that woman.
What did she say?
Everything. She's just this old, bigoted woman.
Mr Brown visited her at home to apologise, but the damage was done. Gordon Brown entered the election arguing that his substance and experience would defeat calls for change. In the end, it was not enough. James Landau, BBC News.